Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Sam Saraswati Namaha. Samasta Janakalyani Niratam Karunamayam. Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we are seeing the definition of Atma. Kaha Atma? Who is Atma? What is the definition? Stula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiriktaha Pancha Koshas Sen Avasthatraya Sakshi Satchidananda Swarupa Sen Yastishtati Sa Atma. So first Atadvyavritti Lakshana Stula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiriktaha we have seen. Then Tadastha Lakshana, using the Tada, using something else is pointed out. Using this Avasthatraya, Jagrat, Supna, Sushupti, Atma is pointed out here. So it's Avasthatraya Sakshi. So we will get this, inquisitive to know what is Avasthatraya. So Avasthatrayas are Jagrat, Supna and Sushupti. So what is Jagrat? Waking state. What is Swapna? Dream state. So both of them we have seen. Now comes the third state of our experience, known as deep sleep state. So in deep sleep, see, in Swapna we are knowing something. We are experiencing different experiences. But in deep sleep, we are not experiencing anything. Nakinjid avedisham. Aham sukham aswapsam. Nakinjid avedisham. I slept well. I do not know anything. I did not know anything. I was not at all aware of anything. That experience is known as sushupti. Now, Acharya is explaining that as the third state by which we are able to understand that the one who is present in Jagrat, the same person is present in Supna, he himself is present in Sushupti. How we know? Because we can remember, we can, in Jagrat Avastha, we are able to remember Supna and Sushupti. We are able to remember something when we are present. If we are not present for a situation, for an experience, if we are not present, then smriti, remembrance, is impossible. We are able to remember that we slept well. We are able to remember that we dreamt. That shows that the one who is awake was there in dream, he was there in deep sleep. Okay, so now comes the discussion about Sushupti. Page number 58. 58. Adha Sushupti Avastha ka. Adha Sushupti Avastha ka. Aham kimapi na janami. Sughena maya. Nidra anubhuyate iti sushuptyavastha. Aham kimapi na janami. Sughena maya nidra anubhuyata iti sushuptyavastha. Karana sharirabhimani Atma Prajna ityuchyate. Karana Sharirabhimani Atma prajna ityuchyate. Now, what do you mean by sushupti avastha? Supti. What is sushupti? Supti. In Sanskrit grammar, if in the same word, if sa comes after u, e, etc., then that sa will change into sha. Actually, it is supti. Because of that Vyakarana rule, sakara is changing into shakara. So, sushupti is actually, so susupti is sushupti. Supti is becoming sushupti. Okay, because of the Vyakarana. So susupti, ka, what is sushupti? Sushupti is, we all experience it. How do we experience? Kimapi na janami. I do not know anything. Sometimes 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. My God, it's already 11 o'clock. After going from ashram, the day we reach home, then we get up. Look at the time, it's 11 o'clock. My God, so much time. Yes, nobody is there to call us. And then we sleep. We do not even know that the time is not known. Nothing is known. Even we do not see any dreams also. So dreamless sleep is known as sushupti. See, when we say sleep, in sleep there are two areas. One is where we see a lot of swapna, lot of dream. And then there is another state known as deep sleep. When we sleep for 6 or 7 hours, only 3.5, 4 hours we are in deep sleep. If we get that, best. If we get a 4-hour deep sleep, that's enough. But that is also sometimes very difficult to get. If we get it, we will be fresh. If we are not getting deep sleep, even though we may sleep for 8 hours, we will be tired only getting up. So sushupti is that deep sleep state where there is no dreams. Dreamless deep sleep is known as sushupti. What is the sushupti state? Aham kimapi da janami. What is the experience there? I do not know anything. Sukhena maya nidra anubhuyate. I experienced good sleep. I was so happy. Badiya se soya. So, sukhena. There was a nice experience. All my tiredness, everything is gone. I'm so fresh. Oh, I slept well. So there are two things, two anubhavas in deep sleep. One is, I do not know anything, ajnana. Another is sukha. Now, from where is this sukha coming? Is this sukha because of eating gulab jamun or anything? No. Is it because of nice swapna? No. Then what happens? How is this sukha? What is this sukha which we experience in sushupti? There are lots of arguments, about this sushupti sukha. But Acharya Shankara explains sushupti, the sukha which we gain at the sushupti, as it is not a positive sukha. Because our sthula sharira is not working, sukshma sharira is not working, mind is not working, buddhi is not working. So what happens? We do not have any kinds of dukkha. See, mind is the sukha, dukkha, bhoga, upakarana, and sthula sharira is the ayatana. Both sthula and sukshma shariras are at rest. Because of that, there is no pain, there is no difficulties, there is no dukkha. Because there is no dukkha, we feel Sukham. So that is one argument. Second argument is, some Acharya says that there is a reflection of Atma Swarupa in Sushupti. It's a reflection. It is not a true Atma Anubhuti. It's a reflection. Because distractions are not there in the mind, we get a reflection of that, our true nature, which gives us so much of sukha. Think about if the reflection, like one small, drop of that gives us so much of joy and rest and rejuvenate us. Think about what will be the anubhava of Atma Anubhuti. Sushupti is not a positive anubhava, it's only a reflection. Even the reflection gives us so much of joy. So what will be the ananda of samadhi? Anyhow, so what is Sushupti? Sushupti is a state where two things, na janami. Why na janami? Why is that we are not able to experience anything in the sleep, deep sleep? Because there is no stula sharira, there is no sukshma sharira. Janami, I know, is a vritti of intellect. If our antakarana, our mind or intellect is not working, then how can we know? Because to know, see, if my eyes are closed, I cannot see. Like that, if the intellect is not working, then will not be able to know anything. So, kimapi na janami. I do not know sukha, dukkha, nothing. Then what is that? Sukhena nidra anubhuya. I slept well. Now, aram se soya. Anand se soya. For such blissful experience. Why blissful? Because there is no dukkha. Because to know dukkha, there is no buddhi. So, that is the sukhena mayad. Sukhena maya nidra anubhuyate iti sushupti avastha. Now, what is the nature of sushupti avastha? In sushupti avastha, stula sharira is not there, sukshma sharira is not there, only karana sharira is there. Karana sharira is there, okay? Sushupti is not samadhi. In sushupti, there is karana sharira. What is karana sharira? All our vasanas. All the vasanas are intact. They are all there. Because there is no sukshma sthula sharira, we are not experiencing any karma. That's all. Karma bhala. Now, so that is the one nature of sushupti. Second nature of sushupti is, in sushupti, sattva is also not there, rajas is also not there, only tamas is there. That's why, na kimapi janami, I do not know anything. I'm not able to know anything because only tamas is there. Because rajas is not there, there are no projections. Because sattva is not there, nothing is known. Sattva is that which helps us to know that sattva is not there. Rajas is something which projects. That is also not there. But then what is there in tamas, in sushupti? Tamas alone is there. That's why we say, na kinchit abhi janami. Kuch bhi nahi janta hu main. So that is the state where we are not able to know anything. Stula sharira is not there, sukshma sharira is not there, kartrutva is not there, bhoktrutva is also not there. We are not experiencing any positive anubhuti there. There's no punya, papa, vasana, nothing. No, only vasana is there, punya, papas are not there. We are not creating anything there. We are just going through a state.
Does it mean there is ajnana?
Yes. Ajnana means the total vasanas put together. That's why we say ajnana means कुछ भी नहीं जानता हूं मैं. That's here, no? So, aham kimapi na janami. That shows that the karana sharira is there, and karana sharira's nature is ajnanam. Ajnana means the entire vasanas put together. Okay, that is sushupti avastha. Now, karana sharira bhimani. So when we are in jagrada avastha, we call ourselves as jagrada avastha. We are Vishwaha. Each one of us is Vishwa. When we are in Swapna, Taijasa. Now when we are entering into Sushupti, each one of us is known as Prajna. What do you mean by Prajna? There are two meanings for Prajna. One meaning of Prajna is here. Karana Sharira Bhimani Atma Prajna Ityuchate. It's there in page number 58. Prajna, we are known as Prajna in Sushupti. What is the meaning of Prajna? There are two meanings. One is Prakarshena Ajna. Pra plus Ajna becomes Prajna. Akasavarni dirgha. Pra plus Ajna, A plus A. So pra plus Ajna, Prajna means Prakarshena Ajna. No, kimapi na janami, kuch bhi nahi janta hu main. So, there is Prakarshena Ajnaha, Ajnata, ignorance. Ignorance of what? Ignorance of the world, ignorance of Atma, both. In Sushupti, we have no knowledge about the world because Sukshma Sharira is not working. And there is no knowledge of Atma also. So that's why Prajna. Prajna means the one who is Ajna. Ajna. Ajna of what? Ignorance of what? Ignorance of both Atma and the world. So one meaning of Prajna is Prakarshena Ajna. The second meaning of Prajna is Prakarshena Janati. Opposite. Prajna also means Prakarshena Janati. Means in a subtle way, it knows everything. How? Because in Prajnavastha, what is there? Karana Sharira is there. Karana Sharira is the seat of all our vasanas. Hamare जीवन में क्या होने वाला है? What will happen? What happened? All that is coded in Karana Sharira. So in a way, everything is known to Prajna. That's why it's Prajna. I do not know whether you have heard about the experiments of Theological Society. Have you read anywhere about Theological Society? Have you heard? So there was a experiment. Sometimes when you get some time, you should read. Theological Society of Annie Besant and all of them, they did some experiments on two boys. Okay, so one boy's name was Krishnamurti. Have you heard about Krishnamurti? J. Krishnamurti? Jittu Krishnamurti, yeah. So J. Krishnamurti, so he was put into a kind of parikshana, examination, or a research by them. They thought that if Atma is Prajna in Turiya Avastha, in the Sushupti Avastha, if you use that stage in the proper way, it will be very easy for an individual to grasp things. Okay, so there was you can read, that's there in the social media. I mean, it's there in. So what they used to teach Jittu Krishnamurti in his kind of a sleep. A kind of sleep was induced, and he was taught, and it's believed that he became so wise because of that experiments. Okay, you can read about it. So what we want to say is, this Prajna is in one way Ajna. Another way, prakashena janadi sarvam. He knows everything about ourselves. Not about Atma, about all the vasanas, all the karma we have done, what is there, what is going to happen, everything. That's why in our tradition, when we are all old Indian tradition, we are always asked to chant Nama, name of the Lord, or something good when we go to sleep. Before we go to sleep, they ask us to wash our feet and hand and face, etc. Sit down in your bed. Remember, there are some prayers, Kayena Vacha, Manasendriyarva, etc. And then dedicate all our actions to the Lord. And chant Bhagavan's Nama. Okay? Chant Bhagavan's Nama and just chanting, go to sleep. They say that if you practice it, that practice can actually have great impact on our Karana Sharira. Many people who have practiced it, sometimes they are chanting Vishnu Sahasranama, okay? Chanting Vishnu Sahasranama, they go to sleep, but when they wake up, they are still chanting. Not loudly, but in their mind, they are continuing chanting the Vishnu Sahasranama. What it means is, when we went into deep sleep, unconsciously, our mind was repeating it. This is the way to cleanse our aura. You might have heard this word of cleansing the aura and all that. They have their own, many spiritual sects have their own theories. But in our tradition, the best way to cleanse our karmas, etc., because this karma, everything is in our karna sharira. How can we cleanse? How can we be able to connect with our own self? Is by, when we go to sleep, have nice thoughts. Sometimes they tell us, no, listen to good music, okay, or nice thoughts or japa. That can touch our karna sharira, which is the seat of all our vasanas, and cleanse it. So that's why prajna also means prakarshena janadi. Jnanam nasti. Jnanam nama, jnana vritti nasti. Jnana vritti means, see, we know something. Jnana vritti is when I see something and then I recognize, idam pustakam asti, this is a book. When that vritti comes, that is known as jnana vritti. That jnana vritti is not there in sushupti, because there is no karnas, the buddhi. But beyond buddhi, see, they talk about different layers of mind. The conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind. So what is there in the sushupti is unconscious mind. It is there, it's unconscious. It's not, that's why I said, aham kimapi na janami. But sughena maya nidra anubhuya. So there is an anubhava of sukha. So that's why the person who is in the sushupti is known as prajna. Okay? So who is Atma? Atma is the one who acts as prajna in sushupti, taijasa in swapna, and vishwa in jagrat. That's why we are using avastatraya sakshi, the person who is the witness of avastatraya. One who knows that I am awake, one who knows that I am dreaming, the one who knows that I am sleeping. So this I is the common factor that is known as avastatraya sakshi, the witness of three states. Later we'll discuss it. Yeah? So, avastatrayasya sakshi, the witness of all the three avastha, jagrat, swapna and sushupti, is Atman. Okay? Now, the doubt comes is, See, we say that Sukhena Maya Nidra Anubhuyate. I experience Sukha. And then we say that there is no Jnana Vritti. How is it possible? Because, see, Jnana Vritti and Jnanam are two things. The knowledge and knowing are two things. See, what is this, I ask you? Suppose we asked a person who has not seen a pen before. We ask that person, what is this? He says, I do not know. But he's seeing this. Even when a person is seeing a thing, he says that, I do not know. Why? Because he's seeing this. You are seeing this, and how can you say you do not know? Because two things are there. So I am seeing, so jnanam is there, but jnana vritti is not there. I am not able to recognize it. So that's why the child says, I do not know. Like that, in Sushupti Avastha also, there is a feeling, because no other distractions are there, there's no, so there is a kind of calmness, because Atma is still there, and they say that 1/16th kala, 1/16th portion of intellect is also there. That's why we are able to remember later, I slept well. But what is the difference between that Anubhava and our Anubhava now? Because the mind is, in the intellect is continuously acting in different ways. But in Sushupti, that only a very little portion of the intellect, 1/16th portion of the intellect with the Jiva is still there. Because of that, and there is no different Anubhava. Only the Anubhava. What is the Anubhava it has? Nothing, Na kinchit janami. I do not know anything. Because there is no other thoughts or experiences, a kind of calmness and quietude come to us. They give us an example. Suppose there is water, still water. And there is a coin deep inside. Inside the water, there is a coin. And if the water is very clean and pure and absolutely still, if you look at, you can see the coin. But if the water is moving, still the coin is there, but we cannot see that. So they say that the Sushupti is like that still water. There are no waves. The Buddhi is not acting. Their Buddhi is not distracted, and it is still. That stillness, because of that stillness, a reflection of Atma happens there, and this 1/16th kala of Buddhi somehow feels a kind of joy deep within. That's why it's known as prayena jnaha. In one way, prayena jnaha. It is not aware of anything else other than itself. So in a way, this Sushupti Avastha is very simple. If you think, what is Sushupti Avastha? Aham kimapi na janami. I do not know anything. Sukhena maya nidra anubhuyate. But in a way, if you think, it is actually contradictory. I do not know anything, and then you say that I am experiencing Ananda. That's what Shastra is trying to tell. This Ananda is not by, generally, how do we feel Sukha? When the Indriya Vishaya Samyoge Sati. When Indriya and Vishaya are connected, and when there is a positive experience, then Sukha. So in Swapna also, in Jagrad also the Sukha what we experience is when the Indriya Vishaya Samyoga and when we get a positive Anubhava then. But in Sushupti, there is no Indriya Vishaya Samyoga because there is no Indriya. But 1/16th kala of Buddhi is there. That Buddhi is not distracted because of anything, because of that stillness. The stillness of intellect reflects kind of ananda deep within us. So that is known as the one who is experienced that stillness and the one who knows that I do not know anything. That Atma is known as Prajna. So who is Atma? Atma is the witness of Jagrad. Atma is the witness of Swapna. Atma is the witness of Sushupta. They say, that's why in the definition it said, Avasthatraya Sakshi. He is the witness of all the avastha. Karna Sharira Abhimani Atma Prajna. So if you go back to the definition of Atma, it is said, first one, Stula Sukshma Karana Sharira Sharirebhyu Vititiktaha Pancha Kosha Atitaha. Pancha Kosha Atitaha. The one who is beyond Pancha Kosha. It said. Now a question comes to us, what is this Pancha Kosha? So now Bhagavan is going to answer the question of Pancha Kosha. What are the 5 koshas? Page number 61. Page number 61. Pancha Koshaha ke Annamayaha Pranamayaha Manomayaha Vijnanamayaha Anandamayaha cha iti Panchakoshah ke Annamayaha Pranamayaha Manomayaha Vijnanamayaha Anandamayascheti. So, who is Atma? Atma is the one who is beyond the Panchakoshas. So what are the Panchakosha? Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. They are the 5 koshas. Now, what do you mean by kosha? In Sanskrit, kosha, there are different meanings. One meaning of kosha is treasury. We say in a koshadhyaksha. Treasurer is known as koshadhyaksha. Kosha means treasury. Kosha means a cell. The cells of our body is also known as kosha. But here, kosha means koshavat avarakatvat, that which covers. Here, kosha means that the cover. Now, kushyate samslishyate iti koshaha, that which is as though covering. No, that which covers. In English, there's a word scabbard. In Hindi, myan, where you keep the sword. See, when from outside, we only see the myan, So, but that myan is something to protect or cover the sword. So, kosha is that scabbard or the myan in which Atma is chipa hua hai. So there are 5 layers of kosha. There are 5 layers of covering, and Atma is deep within. Panchakoshad Atita. Panchakosha Atita. One who is beyond Panchakosha. So what is Panchakosha? Says there are 5 kosha. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. So when you say these are kosha, it means they are covering the self as though. But they are different from self. How the man is different from sword, the same way kosha is different from Atma. And as though it is covering our true self. Third, although they are there, they have no power to affect Atma. Suppose the sword is put in an old myan. Okay? The sword is put in old cover. Just because the cover is old, will the sword become old? Suppose the cover is very good, glittering, but doesn't mean that the sword is good. So the sword and the myan, they are different. So the gunas of the myan will not affect the sword the same way. These Pancha Koshas are some kind of coverings which are different from Atma, and their gunas will not touch Atma. Atma is beyond the nature of Pancha Koshas. Now, Maya, Pranamaya, Manomaya. Maya means Prachurya. Of the nature of, made of, consists of, modification of. Here, Pranamaya, Annamaya, Manomaya. What is the meaning of Maya? Maya means that which is consists of, produced with, made up of, modified with. That's the meaning of Maya. Now, what is the first kosha? The first kosha is known as Annamaya. What is Annamaya? There are 5. No, the Atma is protected with 5 layers. What is the first one? First one is known as Annamaya. Let us see. Annamaya kaha Annarasenaiva bhutva Annarasenaiva vruddhim prapya Annarupa prithivyaam yad viliyate tad Annamaya kosha stula shariram Annamaya kaha Annarasenaiva bhutva Annarasenaiva vruddhim prapya Annarupa prithivyaam yad viliyate tad Annamaya kosha stula shariram. Stula Sharir. The gross body is known as Annamaya Kosha. Why the gross body is known as Annamaya Kosha? Because Annarasenaiva Bhutva. This gross body which we have, this is known as Annamaya Kosha. What we can touch and what we see, what we call as Stula Sharir, the gross body is Annamaya Kosha. Why? Because Annarasena eva bhutva. How does this body came to exist? Not Atma. This Stula Sharira. How the Stula Sharira was created? The Stula Sharira was created with Annam. Anna, the food. Huh? Yes. The food which is consumed by our father and mother. That Anna became, the subtlest portion of Anna became the Retas, and from that alone, this body was created. In the womb of our mother, we got this body, that first embryo that was created from the Anna, the food eaten by the father and mother. The essence of it. The essence of food which is consumed by father and mother is that which joined and gave us our body. That's why this Sharira, this gross body is known as Annamaya Kosha. Annarasenaiva Bhutva. That which is created by the essence of food, which is consumed by our parents. So this body, the first, the first kosha that was created by the essence of the food eaten by, consumed by our father and mother. Annarasenaiva bhutva. That's why this body started with annam. Not only that, it is started with anna. Annarasenaiva vruddhim prapya. How did this body grew? Whether it is in the womb of mother or outside, by food. If we stop eating for 50-something days, the body will fall. So this shows that this body is existing because of food. This body, this gross body, is existing because of food. That's why this body is known as Annamaya Kosha. So this is formed from the essence of food consumed by parents. It is existing because of the food we consume now. And one day, this will become the food of somebody else. Annarasa prithivyam yadviliyate. One day, this body will become the part of the prithvi, the part of the nature. Whether you burn it, whether you cremate it, or whatever you do, one day the body will go back into this nature. So this came from the nature. It is existing because of the food which we consume. And one day, this body will go back to the nature. That's why this body is known as Annamaya Kosha. Annarasenaiva bhutva. Annarasenaiva vruddhim prapya. Annarupa prithivyam yad viliyate. That which will now merge back into this world. Tad annamaya kosha. That is known as sthula shariram. Okay. So, sthula shariram is not the question. Why sthula sharira is not Atma? Sthula shariram, this annamaya kosha is not Atma. Why? Pratyakshatvat. Annamaya kosha is something which we can see. Yad drishtam tad jadam. Yad drishtam tad jadam. What we see, perceive through the indriyas is jada. Atma is not jada. So this body is jadam, but Atma is not jada. So that's why this body is not Atma. Second, Annamaya kosha is not Atma because utpatti vinasha shilatvat. There is a utpatti and vinasha. There is a date of birth and date of death for this sharira. So that which is born and that which will die, that cannot be Atma. So this body is anityam and Atma is nitya. So this body is not Atma. Another, this body is shadvikaravat. We studied, no? Asti, jayate, vardate, vipirinavate, apakshiyate, vinashati. This is keep on changing. But Atma is without any change. Because of all these reasons, Sthula Sharira is not, Annamaya Kosha is not Atma. So please, along with we study this, always also please try to meditate upon why this is not Atma. That's what Vedanta is trying to tell us. This Pancha Kosha Vitiriktaha. Someone who is different from Pancha Kosha. So these Pancha Koshas are our layers, like how we wear many layers of clothes in winter. The same way, these are all layers of our existence, but they are not us. Once more. Annamayakaha Annarasenaiva bhutva Annarasenaiva vruddhim prapya Annarupa prithivyam yad viliyate tad annamaya kosha sthula shariram. What is annamaya kosha? The gross body is annamaya kosha. Okay. Now comes the next. What is that next? Next is pranamaya kosha. Annamaya kosha is the gross body. Now comes the second layer of our existence. They are the 5 personalities of each one of us. See, each one of us, we have 5 layers of personality. One is known as our physical personality. You look at a person, tip-top, tall and handsome and all that. There's only one layer of personality. Don't fall for that, because it can change at any moment. So we have one personality, which is what we can see, Annamaya Kosha. There is a second layer of personality known as the personality of health. A person may look like Jambavan, no, not Jambavan, very, hatta matta and so, healthy. But then we hear, do you know that person who was there yesterday, so you got the first prize in all that, he died. Kisa, heart attack ho gaya. So one thing what we look. Second is our next layer of personality, which is known as Pranamaya Kosha. What do you mean by Pranamaya Kosha? Our physiological functions. Prana is not only, that is not only prana. Prana is actually our physiological layer of personality. So, Pranamaya Pranadhyaha Panjavayavaha Vagadi Indriya Panchakam Pranamaya Kosha Pranamaya Kaha Pranadhya Panjavayavaha Vagadi Indriya Panchakam Pranamaya Kosha. We manifest in this world through a second layer of personality known as our physiological personality, physiological functions. So we have a second body which is known as Kriya body, Kriya Shariram, Kriya Shakti Shariram. What is that Kriya Shakti Sharira? That is said, Pranadi Panjavayavaha. Please understand, this Vayu is not that just air. Vayu means Shakti. Here, Panja Pranaha, they say. Have you heard about this word Pranaha? What do you mean by Prana? Prana means, generally we say, Prana means, Pran chale gaye, Pran. Pran means Shwas. Shwas. Prana means that which we take in. Prana means, actually, there are 5 types of prana. The entire concept of this prana comes from a dhatu, ana. Ana. Ana means that which moves, karane. Ana karane. So there are 5 pranas. They are pra, ana, apa, ana, vi, ana, ut, ana, sam, ana. These 5 put together known as Pancha Pranaha. Pra plus ana become prana. Apa plus ana, apana. Vi plus ana, vyana. Ud plus ana, udana. Sama plus ana, samana. So what are the 5 pranas? Prana, Pranapana Vyanodana Samana me Shuddhyantam Jyotiraham Viraja Vipapma Bhuya Sagaswaha. So Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. These are the Pancha Prana. What are these Pancha Prana? The first one is known as Prana, Hridi Prana. Prana is the headquarters of Prana is heart, but it is situated in all our indriyas. In ear, in eyes, in nose, everywhere. And what does it do? Inhalation. The prana is the force, please pay attention. Prana is the life force which helps us to inhale, intake anything. Generally, we think that prana means inhalation, shwas. That is only one portion of prana. Prana is present in all the indriyas, and because of prana alone, we are able to take anything in. We are able to see, we are able to hear, we are able to smell. These are all because we are taking something in. Taking in is known as prana. The ability to perceive, the ability to receive, the ability to inhale. That is known as prana. Next comes apana. Apana means apanayati. Apana means apanayati means to push down. Okay, to push down. See, we eat food. We keep food in our mouth. And then that food is pushed down to our stomach and to intestine. And in the chakra, and the end, it is pushed out as excretion. So apana is the force. Apana is that power, psychological function, which pushes things in, out, down. So when we think, put water, water, when pour water or rice or food in the mouth, that is that which slowly, slowly pushes down to the stomach, to the intestine, and after the process is over, pushes out. So that's known as apana. Prana, apana. Next is known as vyana. Vyana is that which, there are many, many, many functions for vyana. One vyana's function is burping. When we eat, well, then we burp. Oh. Another of udana, pranapana, udana, okay, I'm talking about udana. Ut, to push up. Udana, pranapana, udana. What is udana doing? Udana is that which pushes up. At the time of death also, udana is the one who pushes the jiva up. They even say that udana is that which helps us to think. Brain activities, etc., is because of the power of udana. Anything which is coming up, thoughts, they are all because of udana. It is ut. Ut means to push up. We are able to speak because of udana. There is that prana which pushes up, and then at the different, our vocal cord, etc., it slowly take the form. So any activity where you see pushing up is udana. Prana, apana, udana. Now comes vyana. Vyana means sarva shariragaha. The rakta chankramana. No, rakta chankramana means the blood circulation, not only blood, anything which is circulated in our body, all that circulation is because of this life, that life force which is in us. So known as vyanaha. So in us, the blood is circulated, all that, reserve, water, everything. All the entire circulation system is controlled, energized by Vyana. Prana, Apana, Udana, Vyana. Next comes Samana. Samana means that which helps us to digest. The digestive power. Whatever we eat, whatever we hear, whatever we think, there is a digestive power in us which helps us to digest. That ability to digest is known as Samana. So, prana, breathing in, apana, pushing down, udana, pushes up, vyana, circulation, samana, digestion. So these pranic forces, physiological functions, the force which help for the physiological functions are known as prana. Pranadi. There are 5 upapranas also. The prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. Like that, there are 5 upapranas. They are, one is nagaha. What is naga? Naga is snake or nothing. We say, naga means that which help us to vomit. That, force which sometimes, some indigestion happens, something. So, that is actually a part of udana, but which help us to vomit. That is known as naga. Another, this is upapranas. Upaprana. Pranapana, vyana, udana, samana is very famous, known as prana. There are 5 upapranas also, physiological functions. One is vomiting. Another is kurmaha. Kurmaha is that which help us to blink. Our eyes are blinking, That the force which help us to blink our eyes is known as kurmaha. Kurma, tortoise, Kurma, there is a pranic energy in us which able to help us to close our eyes, blink our eyes. Now there is another upaprana known as krikala. Krikala is the force which help us to sneeze. Something goes to our nose, etc. We sneeze. That sneezing, that's ability, that is because of krikala. Krikala. Nagaha, kurmaha, krikalaha. There is another upaprana, very nice one. His name is Devadatta. 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 Devadatta is the prana which helps us to smile. That's why Devadatta. Now, Devadatto Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya's Shankha is also known as Devadatta. Okay, so the ability to smile, ability to yawn, yawning, smiling, these are all by Devadatta. And another one is Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya is the power in our body because of which the bodies get fattened up, slimming down, disintegration of body. This all happens of Dhananjaya. At the end, if somebody put the body into the soil, after some time you will see that within a few hours, we'll see the body start to disintegrate. So, disintegration of the body and the fattening of the body, slimming down of the body, that's all because of Dhananjaya. So, if your Dhananjaya is very, very active, then your body becomes, if it has some problem, then it gets fattened up or slimming down, all that happens. So, these are the Pancha Upaprana. Which are the pranas? Pranapana, Samana, Udana, Pranapana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. What are the Panchupapranaha? Nagaha, Kurmaha, Krikalaha, Devadattaha, and Dhananjaya. So all these plus pranas plus all our karmendriyas. Okay? Panjavayavaha Vagadi Indriya Panchakam. Vagadi Indriya Panchakam means all that 5, karmendriyani. What are the karmendriyas? Vak, Pani, Pada, Vayu, Upastha. Because they are related to action. No? So the prana, the power, and the actions, the organs of actions, this together becomes our pranamaya sharira. And pranamaya is not Atma. Why? Because prana is also jada. No? We can feel prana. And we can see that the prana is entering and prana is leaving. So something which is entering and leaving cannot be Atma. And when there are people who can actually control the prana, not only breathing, I have seen a yogi who can even stop his heart. If you do the pranayama for, become a master of pranayama, you can stop all your physiological functions. That is a siddhi. Not everyone can do that, but it is possible. Because I can control my prana, all my physiological abilities, that shows that prana cannot be Atma, because there is somebody who is controlling. And another is, I am aware of prana. Today, my digestion is not that good. Today, I know that prana is coming and going. So we can feel. So the one who feels cannot be the Atma. The one who feels is the Atma. Whatever is felt cannot be Atma. So the prana can be felt by us. All these physiological functions can be known by us. So we are not prana. And vriddhikshayatvat. Sometimes all faculties are very good. Sometimes all these faculties are very weak. Something which is, vriddha, kshaya, good and bad, that cannot be Atma. So that's why our pranamaya kosha is not Atma. So, annamaya, pranamaya. Once more. Pranamaya kaha. Pranadya panjavayavaha. Vagadindriya panjakam. Pranamaya kosha. Now comes Manomaya Kosha. That Manomaya Kosha we'll see evening class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.